I'm Corbett Wall with DB Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, June the 14th, brought to you in part by Livestock Risk Services. That's Dakota Moss office in there at the Exchange Building at the Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City. I encourage you to call him or one of his agents and get set up at least for when you might want an LRP. Doesn't cost anything to get set up. He can answer your questions about it. And then if there's a shake-up in the market, say something comes out in the news, some kind of a black swan deal, say your futures market tanks late one day, he can get you set up the next morning before the board opens. And but you got to get the initial setup done, guys. But for more information, go to livestockriskservices.com. The inventory game, all of a sudden your packers are all filled up on inventory. They're not too hungry, not hand to mouth anymore, not short bought, plenty of blood on the floor, got everything straightened out, not going to have to get aggressive in your negotiated market this week. It's crazy how it just happened that fast, because last week they were scrambling, absolutely scrambling, had the highest movement of negotiated sales that we've had all year and the highest prices that we've seen in the history of the world. And now all of a sudden, oh wait, we're in good shape now, don't need any more cattle. It's almost comical the way that they push that off. That's the packer mentality. We don't need any cattle. I could do you a favor, maybe get yours scheduled in, but we don't need them. Yeah, right. We don't have a lot of cattle coming around the corner. Every packer you talk to, especially in the northern plains, they've been pulling cattle forward. So that doesn't leave, that leaves a vacuum behind is what it does. They keep thinking that they're going to run into some heavier numbers of market-ready cattle, but we don't see it on the horizon. We might see it historically, but this is not an historical year. This is not a normal type year. We've got extremely tight supplies of market-ready cattle, and if your negotiated sellers play their cards right, we should see this market continue to rise. We can't pay any attention to the futures market. Your June live cattle futures contract only has 13 more days of trading, and it's trading at a huge discount to what the market is. At the very least, it's trading at a $5 or $6 discount to the Texas market. It's trading at a $11 or $12 discount to the northern market. Who knows if it's going to catch up? I would think it would have to get closer, but since you can't demand delivery of them, nobody's going to deliver the way things are, and you can't demand delivery, what's going to make it come up? I don't really know, and that's why it doesn't converge most of the time. But like I said on our last visit, your big corporate feeders love it that way because they're hedging everything, and they're getting where they rely and just count on having at least a $3, $4, $5, $6 basis there to help them. But it sure doesn't ever ring true whenever we get there. But your packers have remained in the black even through these all-time record high cattle prices, have not had a week where they lost money. They just continue to crank up the price that they get paid for their box beef cutouts. And it would be really nice to be able to do that when your inputs get higher, just to crank up the price on what you get for your product. But as I've told you many times, those are not negotiated sales on your box beef cutout sales. They basically make up a menu. They put that out, and then your wholesalers and even down to your end users, they just purchase what they want off of that, especially if they're forced to buy in the spot market, in the real-time market. Most of your bigger wholesalers, they buy on a formula type deal and do it out front, so they can get more leverage that way. But the margins that your packers are making have come back down to pre-COVID levels. You remember when I was telling you guys that during the height of the gouging during the COVID. Your packers were making over $2,500 per carcass profit. They were making that much. Now they're back in that $300, $350 range right there. But thought I might give you some prices on some replacement type cattle. Kimball Livestock Exchange in Kimball, South Dakota had a special cow sale there. Some highlights I saw were 19 black and black baldy first calf heifer pairs. They were kind of on the light side. Bring 28 and a quarter per pair. They sold 18 black 5-year-old bred cows, or no, they were pairs with big cows on them. Bring 29.60, and then 37 fall calving cows, 3 to 6 years old, and they were weighing 1,500 pounds, bringing 2,000 and a quarter. Those fall bred cows don't sound too high compared to a big yearling, which brings more than that. Let's talk about your board on Tuesday. June live cattle futures were up 35 cents at 179.42. August up 72 cents at 173.92. Your back months were kind of mixed because the furthest out month, which I believe is November of 24, was down 10 cents, and all your rest were higher coming forward, and as much as $1.02 higher. Talk about your feeder cattle. August feeder cattle were up $1.40 at 240.45. September was up $1.32 at 243.40. Now those are running at a huge premium to our already elevated cash prices. Real-time index is running close to 225. That's cash right now. And your August feeder cattle futures at 240.45. Yes, we're going to run really short of movement of cattle here, or we think we are, but our receipts keep running heavy because the market's so good. People are just bringing cattle into the sales and selling them. We're selling them back and forth to each other as the market goes up. But your back months were all up big from 90 cents to $1.17. December new crop corn was up 2 cents at 5.51 and a quarter. November new crop beans up 30.5 cents at 12.39 and a half. Kansas City July hard red winter wheat down 4 3/4 cents a bushel right during harvest there at 7.91 3/4. Your fat cattle trade, the only thing we saw on a direct basis out of your 5-area feeding region was 200 head of dressed steers at 287 in Iowa. Didn't see anything confirmed out of Nebraska, Kansas, or Texas. Of course, we don't get to see what happened in Colorado because we don't have enough players there. But we did have a brick and mortar sale at Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. 1,200 head in overnight, 2,500 head in for a total. Overall, Gary Marks, who shares the information with me so I can share it with you, he told me the quality was not as attractive as last week. Didn't have as many well-finished cattle, not cattle that come in and you would think they were predominantly prime. Didn't see any real impressive lots like that, but a decent enough fat cattle sale as fat cattle sales go. But the conventional cattle, just cattle, no bells and whistles, bring from 182 to 186.50, which was mostly steady. Program cattle, which is non-implanted and drug-free cattle, which the non-implanted cattle are the bulk of the supplies there. They traded from 188 to 195.50, which is really good, but still $2 to $5 lower than last week. And like I said when we started out, packers are trying to put out the story that their inventories are all built back up suddenly and they're not going to be scraping for cattle. If I was a fat cattle seller, I would just hang my phone up and just wait until the very end of the week and see how hungry they are then. Box beef cutout values were kind of mixed. $337.99 for choice cuts. That was up 56 cents on Tuesday afternoon. Selects were down 76 cents at 309.45. Slaughters running heavier than the comparisons at 248,000 through the first 2 days of the week. 2,000 more than last week, which ended up being very disappointing because they reined it back for Friday on what we had estimated the slaughter was. and 4,000 more than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. If you guys are in the 4-state area, you might want to make plans on July the 5th to go to the Coffeyville Stockyards Blue Stem Special video sale. Tyler and Layton and Doug King invite you to come out for that. They're inviting everybody to come out and even bring their families. It's going to be at the Cross Bell Ranch, which is very historic and a very cool place to go. That's the Mullendore Ranch there, under new ownership there, but that's in Copen, Oklahoma, up in northeastern Oklahoma there, close to Pawhuska. But if you guys want to come out for that, they're going to have steak sandwiches on offer. They're going to have a cash bar, and they've got a live band. Sounds like better than what I'm going to be doing for the 4th of July. So I'm going to be up there on the 5th to broadcast that sale for DV auction. They're going to have 20,000 head of grass yearlings, all sold in load lots, coming off that Osage up there, and some of them I'm sure up in the Flint Hills, the lower part of the Flint Hills. But that is a huge offering of grass yearlings there, and like I said before, those are going to be some of the best performing feeder cattle that you can find anywhere. And it's just fun to come to the Cross Bell Ranch, and you can watch that sale. Like I said, I'm going to be there broadcasting that on DV Auction, so if you can't make it to the sale, be sure to get on to DV Auction there. As we start getting the videos in, they'll be posted on there, and you can check out those and look at the lots that you might be interested in. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV Auction. Late in the day on Tuesday, based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through the middle 12 states, set at $224.71, down $1.25. So we're starting to see your markets kind of mellow out just a little bit. I know they're still crazy, but they're not going up as frantically as they were, and that just kind of reined it back in just a little bit. Talk about your big sales on Tuesday. Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri, had 4,100 head. 2,400 head more than last year at the same sale, and 1,400 more than the average of this week's sale over the past 10 years. You think cattle aren't moving, and we know we've got extremely lighter numbers than that. It's just the market that's pulling those cattle out of the woodwork, guys. But your calves sold $3 to $6 lower. Feeder cattle sold $2 to $4 higher. It was also your national beef wire stick out sale of the day. You look at this. This is in extreme south central Missouri. You can throw a rock to Arkansas, guys. It's down there. It's getting hot and humid time of the year. But you look at your best tested weights, and there's lots of them. 374 head of 4-weight steers in West Plains, Missouri, average 454, weighted average price 257.94. 694 head of 5 weights, average 546, with an average price of 247.37. 533 head of 6-weight steers in West Plains, average 647, weighted average price 234.04, and 306 head of 8-weight feeder steers out of West Plains, Missouri, had an average weight of 862 pounds and an average price of $212.86. Look at your heifers. 358 head of 4-weight heifers, average 452 pounds, weighted average price $230.49. 678 head of 5-weight heifers, average 549, weighted average price $220.17. And 336 head of 6-weight heifers had an average of weight of 637, average price $206.60. Now they also had a really sizable in-house video there in West Plains, Missouri at Ozarks Regional Stockyard, and they do that with help from DV Auction. They post those videos up there. They pull them down whenever they're getting ready. They take the online bids, they take the in-house bids, and had a really snappy sale. Over 1,200 head on their in-house video. A couple of stick-out deals was a load of home-raised wean steers from the Peoria tribe from Miami, Oklahoma. Now, you don't see a deal like that very often, but a load of them. to weigh 5 1/4 here, current delivery at $3 a pound. Impressive. How about some big cattle? The Everett cattle out of Salem, Arkansas there. They were blacks, they were good ones. 175 head of them to weigh 915, pretty close by delivery there. And they brought $225 on those steers. Impressive sales on their in-house video. Impressive market through the ring. Ozarks Regional Stockyard. How about some stick-out sales from all around the country? Imperial Auction Market in Imperial, Nebraska sold 203 heifers, weighed 826 at $212. I thought that was pretty good. How about Denny Rezac Livestock Commission in St. Mary's, Kansas? They sell 57 steers, weighed 811 pounds at $240-250. Beaver County Stockyard had another outstanding sale. Lots of loads of yearlings, including 6 loads that weighed from 9 to 950 pounds. And I pulled them out here so you could look at them. Look at those 9-weight cattle there. 6 loads of them sell from $221.75 to $223.85 in the Oklahoma Panhandle, people. Wow, big time sale at Beaver County Stockyards. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday, your Mackerson, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Kingsville Livestock Market in Kingsville, Missouri. It was 58 head of long weaned black steers, weighed 615 pounds at $294.85. That's your feeder flash for Wednesday.